Continuing on with our common success mistakes, number 10, taking action without being aligned with the job, the business, the career, the activity, the project. What I mean by this is that, again, we tend to make a lot of business decisions, wealth decisions, money decisions with our head. And we look at the quote unquote the dollars and cents, or we look at the numbers as it relates to the potential of the market. Again, not bad things to think about, but again, your feelings, the things that feel good, things that light you up, things that kind of speak to you from the inside that it's ready to go. It's a project, or it's something that is available to you, and that you can really get behind. In many cases, your feelings actually can be very useful. It reminds me of old Obi-Wan Kenobi saying to Luke Skywalker in the first Star Wars movie, search your feelings, Luke, search your feelings. I think that many businesses that don't succeed as much as we would like to, typically could be avoided, or we could delay if we were to actually listen to our intuition. Many times we go against our intuition. If we're trying to force something, we're trying to force it and make it happen. And then we go back to that old, success training, get out of your comfort zone. If it feels uncomfortable, it's good. Stretch yourself. It shouldn't feel good. It should feel bad, and get out of your comfort zone. I don't recommend that anybody get out of their comfort zone, quite frankly. Getting out of your comfort zone and doing things that you hate, things that feel bad, typically are not successful. One of the things that you'll hear me say that I said in my book, Selling from the Heart, is that selling activities or business activities that are done in the spirit of joy are almost always successful. Selling activities or business activities that are done with in the spirit of resistance and uncomfortability and going against the grain and feeling like I hate this, but I'm going to do it anyway. And again, there's no pain, there's no gain. Again, you tell me. If that's been successful for you, then continue to do it, for goodness sake. But I'm going to suggest that many of these projects, businesses, careers, you didn't feel lined up with them. There was something in your gut, in your heart, that said it's not ready yet. It's not the right time. It's not the right thing for me. I really don't believe in it. I back to my other example. I really didn't have an incredible passion for clean water. I'm all for clean water. I like water that doesn't cause cancer or cause problems. But it wasn't something that really was my passion in life. And sometimes it takes you a while to go through a number of things to find that. And I'm going to suggest that before you take action with anything from a new website to a new prospecting method to a new marketing method, that you work on lining up the energies, that it feels good, that it feels right, that it is a good time to go ahead and to launch whatever you want to do. Just taking massive action for the sake of taking massive action, in many cases, you can waste a lot of time, and you can even waste a lot of money. So as you're contemplating things, really get in touch with your feelings. Think intuitively about things. Think how they, play around with the idea, the picture in your mind, in your heart, and see how it feels, and make sure you're really lined up with it. I remember a friend of mine telling me that when he was first in the network marketing business, that he had gotten involved with a company, and they had many household products, cleaning products and things like that. And he said to me, MJ, I didn't really have a passion for cleaning products or toothpaste. We marketed them. It made sense to me that people would rebuy them and repurchase them. He said, but now, 25 years later in my network marketing career, I'm involved with a product that I'm really into, and that I really believe in, and that I feel is very important for me and my family. And this man, believe me, made millions of dollars in network marketing. And he said, I did it for the money. And it did work for me, but I have to say now that I'm really passionate about the product. Every bit of it feels so much better and is so much more successful for me. So take action. Once you get the energies aligned and things feel good, that's the time to move into the next area. Success, mistake number 11, measuring your self-worth by the amount of money that you have accumulated or by the number of toys or things that you have. Certainly, no one is denying that manifesting, and I'll say this right out, I believe very strongly that manifesting things such as beautiful cars, expensive cars, homes, vacations, whatever your thing is, giving to a charity, whatever you want to do with your money. I think manifesting is a great thing. I think it's an important part of expanding and as a way of moving forward. But one of the things that you'll notice is typically if you're driven to have these things because once you have them, then you will feel worthy, that you will feel like you are complete, that you will feel quote unquote happy, and that you'll feel personally satisfied. In many cases, you'll find, and people will tell you all the time, I got the nice car, I got the nice house, but I still had these feelings of failure, these feelings of not feeling worthy. I was no happier at all as a result of manifesting things. Why do we want to manifest things in our lives? Well, we certainly try to manifest money, wealth, cars, boats, again, whatever your thing is, because we believe that in the having of it, we will feel better. And I won't deny that. But I think what really happens for us is that if we're trying to keep the score, if we're trying to use the scorecard as the toys or the amount of money that's in the bank account, in many cases we will feel unsatisfied. We won't feel. Now, by the way, I would always say that it would be better to be wealthy and to feel bad than to be poor and to feel bad. So I would always err on the side of wealth. I think one of the real important principles of wealth creation is to be okay with manifesting things. Why were we put into a physical world if it wasn't important for us to figure out how to manifest and to get the things that we quote unquote want? But if you're going to attach your self-worth, your sense of who you are is then measured by the amount of money or the number of toys or the kinds of toys that you have, especially if you're comparing to other people or trying to impress other people. In most cases, you'll tell me that you have not achieved as much success as you've wanted, or if you have been able to manifest those things, that things like joy, things like contentment, things like peace, things like feeling really satisfied, that you aligned your energies, feeling really satisfied that you came into a sense of who you really were or are, and then those things followed. See, usually what it takes the self-worth to come first, the happiness to come first, the contentment. That's what feeling rich is all about. The title of this, of a webinar that I did was, "You can't get rich if you feel poor." If you don't feel worthy, if you don't feel successful, if you don't feel confident, then you won't manifest the money and the wealth and the toys that you want, that you believe that you want, because you believe in the having of them will make you feel better. It's perfectly fine, because usually what has to happen is you have to feel successful, you have to feel worthy, you have to feel happy with who you are, and then those things will manifest themselves, the things that you want. Totally makes sense to me. Number 12 is believing that when you finally get there, when you again you reach that promotion. We've talked about this a little bit. When you have that home, when you have the ability to go on those vacations, when you have quote unquote whatever number it is for you, $1 million in the bank, $2 million, $10 million, $100 million. I don't know what the number is for you. But believing that when you get there, when you are able to keep score, you'll be content. Following on on number 11, get content first, get happy. I love one of the things that Steve Jobs used to tell his Macintosh team was he would tell them as they were working, 200-hour weeks to meet deadlines. He would help them understand that they could do the impossible, and he would say, remember that the journey is that the reward is in the journey. The reward is in the journey. And I think that's such a great thing to remember, that as you're moving along, as you're expanding, as you're growing, to understand and quite frankly, that there are no happy endings. There are no happy endings to unhappy journeys. So if you're resisting and you're fighting and you're finally going to get there, and then when I get there, then I'm going to relax. Then I'm going to enjoy my life. Then once the $1 million is in the bank, then I'm going to be satisfied and happy. I'm going to suggest that you need to get happy and satisfied first, and then you'll watch the abundance roll in. It will be effortless. It'll just seem like the next natural, logical step that's happening to you, and it will make so much sense. Number 13, the 13 most common success mistake is getting mad, upset, or frustrated that you don't have the money you think you should have, or that you're not getting there fast enough. And I just remembered an incident that happened to me when I first wrote Double Your Contacts. I was very pleased to have finished the book. It was hard to write the book. My first book was very difficult for me. I resisted it a lot, and I finally wrote the book Double Your Contacts. And I had the finished book, and I also had a great talk that I did called, we named it Double Your Contacts. It was a live talk that I did, and I had it on a double CD set, and it really was a great product and was a great representation. It was a talk I did in front of about 3,000 network marketers. And so I had this book, and I had this great product, and I had some success. And the company that had brought me in had asked me, they had said to me that if you will cut your price for speaking in front of our large convention, we will give you tons of referrals. We will refer you to everybody in our business, man. You give us a break on this price, and boy, will we refer you to people. Well, as soon as I had finished that talk and we got the recordings of the talk, we realized that, or I realized, after asking and asking and asking for the referrals, that the referrals were not going to be forthcoming. And for whatever reason, I really don't care what the reason is now, but at the time I can tell you that I was mad, I was upset, and I was frustrated that these people had told me that they would give me these leads, and now the leads were not coming, and I was really resistant, and I would kind of stomp around and be like, those guys lied to me, and they told me they were going to do this, and they didn't do it, and I'm not selling enough, and I'm not making enough money, and they were supposed to do their end of the bargain, and they didn't do it, and I allowed myself to get completely screwed up in my feelings. My feelings were of frustration and anger and resentment and unfairness. How unfair that they asked me to drop my price and then didn't provide the leads and the referrals that they said they would. Well, let me tell you, my friends, that feeling of frustration, being upset, stomping around, mentioning it to people, those guys screwed me. They did me wrong, talking about it, feeling it, being, not having enough money, and then saying, but it's because of those people that this has happened. I should be speaking all over the world to their organization, and they haven't done what they said they were going to do. My handling of that situation, my feelings, my bad feelings, stopped more abundance from flowing to me than you could ever imagine. And it wasn't until I finally made the shift and realized that I had a great product and that I could use that product to actually prospect other organizations. But I'm embarrassed to tell you that I probably struggled for the better part of a year, being mad, being frustrated, hoping that those referrals were going to come in, and being resentful. One of the things that can really screw up your ability to create wealth, to create abundance, to manifest your desires is to walk around being unhappy, to be unfulfilled, to be resentful, to be mad, to be in a state of always resisting things. I have to say that, I thought I worked hard. I thought that I was out there, fighting the good fight. I used to say, I'm going to go out into the battle today. I'm going to bring home some food for my family. I used to have these metaphors, I'm going to go catch the whale. I'm going to go catch the buffalo. I'm going to go, I'm going to go out and attack it and kill it and bring it home. It was a very resistant, very kind of attacking, kind of angry, I'm going to make it happen, no matter what, I will never be poor again, kind of thing. And I have to say that being resistant, being upset with people, having resentments, being angry, being frustrated, inhibited my ability to make money. And once I started to relax, let those things go, be more easygoing, and to just let things come to me without me having to fight them and to be mad all the time. I can tell you, I could always find somebody that was doing something wrong to me, whether it be the policeman who was giving me the ticket, whether it was the electric company that was charging me more than they were supposed to, whether it was somebody who shorted me and the amount of, olives that should have been in the jar at the delicatessen. I mean, I was always, I was receiving bad service at the hotel. I needed to complain. Focusing on things that are wrong, complaining about things, being frustrated, being angry are very, very resistant things. So you may tell me, you may say, well, MJ, but I've been thinking about success for 25 years. I've made 50 dream boards. I've thought about that car. I've thought about that house. I've thought about that full bank account for 5, 10, 15, 30 years, and it just hasn't come, even though I've visualized and I set my goal and I reset my goal. But if you're living in an attitude of frustration, you're always upset with people, people are always bothering you, situations are bugging you, you're always irritated all the time, I guarantee you that you are not in the flow of abundance. You are not allowing abundance to reach through and to come to you. One of the worst things you can do is to be mad, to be frustrated, to be upset, to be irritated with people, and to always be looking for what's wrong. It will cut off success. It will cut off abundance. It will cut off great relationships. And for many of you right there, I mean, I can just feel, I can almost feel you resonating with this and saying, this is one of the reasons that I have not succeeded, because I've been so resistant, always looking to find what's wrong and to fight with people. It is one of the most common success mistakes. And on the heels of that, let's talk about number 14, which is constantly noticing that you're not there yet and that you don't have the stuff that you want. This idea of I'm not there yet, I'm not there yet, I'm not there yet is a complete a mantra and it's one of the reasons that a lot of you think that you're thinking successfully, and actually you are thinking successfully, but then there's kind of a double-edged sword there, where on one side you're saying, I want these things, and then you're noticing that you don't have them, and by noticing that they're not here yet, you are totally keeping them away from you. And so what many of you will do is you'll set your goal, you'll work very hard, You'll keep score, you won't get there. You'll keep score, you're not there yet. You keep score, you're not there yet. It could be your bank account, it could be a promotion level. You could be in your network marketing business trying to reach the next promotion level and be struggling for months or even years. And what you keep noticing is that I haven't gotten that promotion yet. I can't seem to attract the right teammates. Every time I get somebody involved, they quit eventually. I can't hold on to people. I can't get there. I can't believe that I'm not a triple, a ruby, fleet commander with 3 emerald clusters yet. I want to get there. I think about it all the time, and then I always notice that I'm not there. And one of the real keys there is that you have to really learn how to really get in a state, and we're going to talk about this more, about a state of appreciation, and be really appreciative of what you have accomplished, and to really relish that and really savor it. And then, but at the same time, be eagerly waiting for the next part of the adventure. But when you're noticing that you're not there yet, when you're noticing that you don't have the money, when you're noticing that you don't have the promotion level that you want, I guarantee you that you are completely keeping away from you the things that you actually want. And so noticing what you don't have simply brings to you more of what you don't have. I learned this one from my friend Wayne Dyer. Focusing on what's not here, you get more of what's not here. Focus on what's missing, you get more of what's missing. Because what we focus on expands and grows. So what you need to start focusing on is the little successes, the things that will bring you to the bigger successes. So this is the end of this section of the videos, the common mistakes. Make sure that you're looking at these, you're seeing which ones perhaps you that resonate with you, and that you're understanding that perhaps you've had some of these issues and now you're ready to drop them, and you're ready to move into a state where we're going to start attracting more great things, noticing what's really working, what's really good, and getting away from these things that haven't been working for so many long years.